When I'm looking for quick recipes, then I often reach out for those canned beans. Add a few spices and you have a quick side dish ready to be served with rice or roti. Hey everyone, Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Bumbi. And today I will show you a quick and easy tofu chickpea curry recipe. So let's get started. The very first thing I will do is fry the tofu. Heat some oil over medium-high heat and lay out the tofu in a single layer. I always use firm or extra firm tofu when it comes to making curries, as they retain their shape even after cooking. Discard the water that comes in the package and rinse the tofu under cold tap water. Then wrap them in paper towels to get rid of that extra moisture. I sprinkle some salt and let them get fried on medium-high heat till they get golden brown. Then turn each one of them and allow them to brown up on that side as well. After that, switch off the heat and keep them aside. You can use that same pan in which you had fried the tofu or use a separate pot to make the gravy. Add some oil. Once the oil turns hot, lower the heat of your stove and add a dried bay leaf. Then cumin seeds, that is jeera. As I always say, allow the seeds to crackle to release their flavor. And I repeat, it is very important to let those seeds splutter before adding anything else. Then comes chopped onions. Sprinkle little salt and stir the onions on medium heat till they turn little brown along the edges. Please do not rush this step by stirring on a high heat. You need a little bit of patience here. A quick recipe doesn't mean that we have to compromise with the flavor. Once the onions soften down and darken in color, it's time for the aromatics. Chopped red chilies, grated ginger, and grated garlic. Chilies are optional. You can even use serrano chilies or jalapeno, whatever is easily available at your local grocery store. Stir for a minute or two to get rid of the raw smell of ginger and garlic. Then it's time for the dry spices. I added a splash of water to bring down the temperature of the pot, or else the spices might burn. Red chili powder, ground cumin, ground coriander for that citrusy kind of smell, and turmeric powder, without which Indian cooking remains incomplete. Stir the spices on low heat to bring out their flavor. If you see them sticking to the bottom of your pot, then add a splash of water, or else they will impart a bitter flavor to the curry. Next comes chopped tomatoes. Again, sprinkle some salt that will help the tomatoes to soften down faster. Then cover it on low heat and allow the tomatoes to break down to a mushy consistency. In between, uncover, give a stir, and cover again. In the meantime, let me come to the chickpeas. I used canned chickpeas. Now take about a large spoonful of those chickpeas in a separate bowl and mash them very well. Not only does it give a chickpea character to the gravy, but it gives a thickness to it. So I would highly recommend you not to skip this step. The tomatoes have turned pulpy, so in goes the golden beads of beauty. I like stirring them for a minute so that each one of those chickpeas get coated with the spices and tomato. Then comes something that will take this dish to that ultimate level of yumminess: coconut milk. I used only half a can of coconut milk since my family doesn't like that intense coconut flavor, but you can happily use that whole can if you are a coconut lover. I added little water again to cover up that intense flavor of coconut, but you do not need to do this. Then it's time for those mashed up chickpeas to dive in. Add a sprinkle of salt, little sugar to balance the flavor, and finally some garam masala powder, which I always add at this point so that it doesn't lose its bold flavor. Finally, in goes those golden nuggets of tofu. Allow the gravy to come up to a boil, then cook it on low heat for 15 minutes. In the meantime, I will roast some cumin seeds. Add about a teaspoon of cumin seeds in a pan. Stir them constantly on low heat till they turn fragrant. Then take them off heat and give them a coarse grind. There is nothing like adding freshly roasted ground spices. Your whole kitchen will smell divine, and they increase the flavor of any curry. Here, we need a powder like this. After 15 minutes, let's see what's happening in that pot. Discard the bay leaves. The gravy has reached that right amount of thickness to my liking. If you want your gravy to be thicker than this, then increase the heat of your stove and reduce the gravy to your desired level of consistency. Sprinkle some of that fragrant cumin powder. I always like a squeeze of lime or lemon juice to add a fresh note to the curry. And finally, coriander leaves to brighten up everything. Serve this with rice, roti, or a toasted bread. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.